Some stories we only see from the outside, and for curious minds, that leaves a lot yet unexplored. Sometimes we just want to find out more.
I'm Nic.
And I'm Dan, and this is Explore the Story. On today's episode, we're in Davao City visiting Darrell Blatchley, a museum owner, TV host, and environmentalist who's received many accolades, including a UNESCO award for his efforts against plastic pollution. He's agreed to give us a tour of the museum and answer a few questions about his work.
So you have the predators and then you have the herbivores. Each one is playing an important role in the balance of nature. But with humans, we go in and we kill absolutely everything. We kill off all the carnivores because, oh, they're dangerous, they're scary looking. So we kill them off, we make leather bags, boom, then they're all gone. In the wild, about 5% of the crocodiles will survive to reach maturity. So they lay their eggs on the nest, 75 eggs, 75 up to 100, only 5% of them survive. Even before I opened the museum, I went to the States and I was walking around Cabela's hunting goods store in the States. And one of the workers came up and asked me if my companion was a Filipino. I said, yeah, why? He goes, well, they're all the same. I said, what do you mean they're all the same? Well, when a Thai or Chinese comes in the store, they're looking at the animals like, no big deal. They do a selfie or whatever. He goes, but when Filipinos walk in, they're going, is this a dinosaur? And it's a giraffe. He goes, doesn't the Philippines have education about natural history? So when we came back to the Philippines, I went to the National Museum in Manila, and I said, where's your natural history collection? At the time, they didn't have a natural history museum here in the Philippines. And they said, oh, it's on the 3rd floor. And it was literally a room the size of this 2nd floor we have here. And it was embarrassing because I had more specimens in my living room in my own personal collection than the National Museum did. So it was like God was saying, instead of hiding your collection just for you to be able to enjoy, show the Philippines what I've created, how they need to take care of it, and also the consequences if they don't take care of it. And so we opened the museum in 2012, and the first year alone, we had over 8,000 visitors, just with 150 specimens on display. The National Museum had 13 specimens on display when we opened. You don't know if the next marine biologist is inspired just by coming through here and then going, I want to do something to change this country. It's hopefully encouraging them to make that change in their life. That we can do this in Bukana to become the #1 tourist destination, not just for Davao, but for the whole of Mindanao, and one of the top 5 museums in the Philippines in what was the worst neighborhood in Davao City.
Bago kaming nakilala sa syudad ng Davao sa Mindanao, ang Amerikanong si Darrell Blatchley, tinaguri ang bone collector. Matyaga niyang kinokolekta ang mga buto ng anumang uri ng hayop sa balat ng iyong.
Where do you get all these bones, man?
Well, I was already collecting bones since I was a kid. I had exotic pets and stuff like that growing up in Thailand, here in the Philippines. And then living here in Davao City, they kept dying here in the Davao Gulf. So go out, get them, bring them back to the museum. In the last 11 years, I've recovered 70 dead whales and dolphins here in the Davao Gulf.
Now, why does he keep dying?
Of the 70, 58 died because of garbage and fishing nets. And of the 58, 4 were pregnant. When you figure only 12 died of natural causes, and when we say natural causes, dying of starvation is kind of questionable. That would mean overfishing of the Davao Gulf and the surrounding areas.
Okay, we got a phone call this morning about 6 o'clock that there was a stranded whale in an area that we know has Blanesville beaked whales and Hutuli beaked whales.
That 40-kilogram whale that came out, or the whale wasn't 40 kilograms.
Yeah,
the
whale,
trash inside
the
was 40.
whale was 15 feet long, weighed 400 kilos, and had 40 kilos of trash. And now a whale that size should have weighed over 1,600 kilos.
Yeah, so you got like almost 90 pounds of trash.
Yeah, 10% of its body weight was garbage. And people go, well, how do you know it came from the Philippines? But when we open up the stomach and it has 16 rice sacks that are all local brands, when it has candy wrappers, when it has local grocery stores, inside of its stomach, and you're like, seriously. Now that whale was the world record for garbage found inside of a whale. When we opened it and then it made international news, the country of Bhutan Their schools, the grade schools and their high schools said, we're going to do something because there's an animal that died in the Philippines. We're going to go and clean up all of our canals and all of our rivers. As a school body for the whole country, they went and cleaned up everything. That's a country of Bhutan.
Okay, it's already recording. Okay, so hold on na, ipagtanos ako. Okay, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna gently release this beautiful hawksbill turtle. Balik sa dagat, parang na-survive niya. So we're gonna release this beautiful turtle back into the water, and hopefully she'll survive. We've removed all the ropes and everything. She appears to be healthy. She was very strong a minute ago.
We've had people that we know have graduated high school, and their parents, because of their enthusiasm for biology, have sent them to other countries to pursue their interest in biology. As we teach them when they come in here, don't go into a field because you think you're going to get money or you're going to figure out how to work the system in your favor. Do it because you want to make a change and make this country better. If you don't get on that person for throwing the garbage, you're part of that problem.
It sounds like you want Filipinos to...
I want them to take it over. I want them to start being the ones that make the change for the country because I'm tired of it. I'm literally tired of walking down and seeing the garbage everywhere and being like, you know what? I don't care anymore. I don't want to get to that point, but it's like, unless they change and not change in 10, 20 years, unless they start changing now, enjoy it. Enjoy seeing them dead in the museum.
Died this morning because of literally a mountain worth of garbage inside of his stomach.
You think of me as the bone collector, the guy that goes and gets the dead whales that washed up on the beaches, chop it up. Oh wow, it's a luxurious lifestyle. 3 weeks dead, 48 tons, does not smell good.
At the final end of the day, though, it boils down to, why do I do this? You can save all the whales and dolphins, you can save all the crocodiles, you can save all that, but if you didn't have a final reason why you're doing it, you still lost at the end of the day. Mine is, my relationship to God is not just how I take care of the creation, but my interaction with man around me. With that interaction with man around me, I'm not saying I'm perfect, man. I am far from being a saint, way far from it. I have my own faults, but it's something that every single day I have to get up and decide that I'll be a good person for what God's created, that I'll be good for my fellow man. Otherwise, when I get to the end of my life, it's pointless.
Life is a journey full of choices and consequences. Which path will you take?
Nalipay yung ko na nakailan ako sa Darrell. And now that, I know that these things are happening, I kind of feel like I want to get involved with the environment. Because, ulaw kayo ba na kano pa ang niadto diri para buhaton ng mga butanga. Nga kita ko na ito ginabuhat,